Oh, the streets are cold and gray, but the fire in our hearts won't stray from the pitch where dreams collide. We'll stand together side by side. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in, when the Spurs go marching in, I wanna be there in that number. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in, from the north to Wembley.
Hello everybody, welcome to Project Spurs. 0 wins in the Premier League for 2026 continues after a disappointing 2-0 defeat away at Manchester United. We'll look back at that. We'll look back at the whole game and general feelings around the football club right now. Joseph's with me. We've got some other of our regular guests joining us shortly. We did say just before we press sort of go live, Joseph, that there's not a lot to hold on to at the moment. Just tell us a little bit more of what your thinking is behind that.
No, I mean, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of this club right now. We saw the end of the transfer window be as disappointing as it could be. We go into this game kind of, off the back of a couple of okay performances. The second half against City was quite promising. And I think, as much as I'm always quite pessimistic with Spurs, I can never truly trust them and never truly believe like they're going to do, what we need. I think, there was a tiny little bit of optimism there, thinking that there's a chance that maybe we can get some from this game. Although, United have looked really good recently, under Carrick, you're thinking, there's a chance, but that all goes away when Romero makes that challenge. And, the rest of the game, there was no hope. There was nothing from the team. There was no real belief in anything that we did. And, with 10 men, again, maybe you can kind of not expect too much from Spurs at that point, but it was just so tired and derelict, and there was just nothing. There was nothing to hold on to, and it is such a shame.
Creativity, was there? There was no. I know that we're down to 10 men, but there wasn't a lot before that either. It was kind of a lackluster performance, sort of really from the beginning. And I know that the most and the biggest talking point will obviously be Christian Romero and the red card. For me, it's a red card all day long. I've gone back and forth with a number of people online, as generally always happens on Twitter and stuff. But it's a block tackle. And now what I mean by a block tackle, this is the football. You can go in and you block and it's there. You go through the ball. You don't have to then follow through and lift your studs up to essentially go straight into a player's ankle, lower leg. It's a red card. It doesn't matter that I'm a Tottenham fan or what. It's a red card every day. Unfortunately for Christian Romero now, this is his second red card in the last 8 games. It was sent off against Liverpool, which was for a double yellow, which he didn't need to be. This is another red card that he didn't need to. He's obviously been in the press a lot this week due to comments made on social media. So obviously straight away, things were scrutiny behind him, and then he goes in and does that. It's just not helping himself in really anything that is happening at the club at the moment. Where are you on the red card, just as I bring Phil in to join us as well?
Yeah, I mean, for me, 100% a red card. I've see a lot online of people comparing it to when Dalot didn't get sent off with Doku, and I don't know why it matters. I understand. No, it doesn't. In my opinion, they just got that decision wrong. But this decision was right. It doesn't, just because that one wasn't a red card doesn't mean this one shouldn't be. This was a red card. You could see Romero's intent. There was no reason after trying to win the ball that he needed to follow through like he did. And he did it on purpose. Again, a Brazilian player, maybe there's something there. That one of the reasons why he wanted to go in for it with Casemiro. Casemiro's a bit like that as well, isn't he? So maybe he wanted to leave something on him. But that was Romero's fault. And, I know Romero's been in the press a lot this week. And a lot of people will defend him on what he's saying about the club. And to be fair, I do agree with some of the comments he's making, and I don't mind him coming out and saying that. Remember, he doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to come out and post things on Instagram saying that the club are disgraceful with the amount of injuries we've got. He doesn't need to come out and say that people are lying and all this stuff. But he's doing it because he wants to show his displeasure for the club and everything. Yeah. Basically, he's causing more controversy for us. But then, if you're going to do that, at least go and prove on the pitch that you're better than what this club is giving you. But you're not. And the thing is, this season, let's be honest, Romero hasn't performed unbelievably even when he has played. There's been games where he hasn't played that well without getting sent off. There's been games where he hasn't played well. But when you do this in this type of game, and I agree with you, Gary, the first 30 minutes of the game, it was even. I would say Man United were probably slightly on top. We were in the game, though. It wasn't the fact that Man United were completely dominant. They were looking like they were going to go win the game 2-3-0. It was close. We weren't sure where the game was going to go from that point. But as soon as Romero does that, he puts us at the complete disadvantage. And again, the way United are playing, I would expect them to beat us with 11. But they, at that point, they completely dominated us. But I've just got a problem, Romero coming out and saying this stuff. I completely understand it. I know a lot of fans agree with what he's saying. And I agree with what he's saying, but then to go and do that, it's just like what do you want to give to Tottenham fans? Like, what are you doing? I don't understand it. It was so needless. It was so reckless, and I know a lot of Tottenham fans as well have been against this whole. People keep on saying about Romero being a reckless player, and there's been stats previously to prove that he's not always this reckless player. He's not always getting red cards. He's not always getting yellow cards. He actually can be quite sensible in moments, but. That was completely, aligned with that agenda. That was so reckless. It was so stupid. I don't know what he was doing, what he was thinking. Because again, in that moment, it's 0-0. United, okay, they were slightly getting on top in that moment, but there was nothing happening. And I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah.
He knew it as well. He knew it straight away.
Straight away when you make those challenges, you know what's coming. And I know there's a lot of cries online, Phil, that, it's Christian Romero, it's going to be a red card, it wouldn't be for somebody else. And Joseph brought up good points. There was the Dalot tackle on Man City a couple of weeks ago that wasn't a red. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant at this point. It's like saying, well, you threw something at that guy and didn't get in trouble for it, but I did. So what? It doesn't matter. It's still the same crime or foul committed. Where are you on the red card? Because look, this is the dominating story really behind this, because that did change the game. But equally, he came into the game with so much press around him, and pretty much every conversation in the press conference yesterday for Thomas Frank was about Christian Romero, and he's let not only his manager down, he's let us as fans down and his teammates.
Yeah, honestly, hi everyone, by the way. Honestly, it's all about Romero. Thank you. It's all about Romero, and actually the game it's been defined by that incident, and everything else that happened in the second half, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because it was all down to Romero. Like that one thing that he did has basically ruined the game for us today. I think has already been said before, we looked all right at the beginning of the game. I thought we actually played pretty well in that first half an hour. United had a better start and we kind of came into it, had some good moves and stuff, but we looked comfortable. He's basically ruined it with that action. And yeah, look, it is a red card. It's a clear red card. And to anyone, I agree with Joseph as well, by the way. If I know there's been a lot of decisions this season, right, where when you look at it back in VAR and stuff, so where's the consistency? Why is that a yellow? Why is that not even a yellow? Why is that a red? Has he followed through? Has he not followed through? Is he, meant to plant his studs on the player and not follow through on that? Blah, blah, blah. The fact is, there's been mistakes made this season, but you have to just look at it game by game. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. Today, he's done that tackle, and that's a clear red card for me. I don't see the point of anyone trying to defend that and say, oh yeah, but that one was worse and it wasn't given or something like that. That was a red card. And he as the captain, he's our club captain, and he's basically ruined the game for us today. He's ruined the game for us today. He's got form on it because, as you said, that's he's banned for 4 games now, isn't he? He's got a 4-match ban.
Yeah, so that's 4 games. He's just come off a 3-match ban, 8 games ago after the Liverpool red. So that's 2 red cards in 8 games. That's now 4 games he's going to be suspended for, which obviously includes the North London derby.
Apparently, he's one yellow card. He's one yellow card.
And he's one yellow card away from another ban, which an automatic, and that is 1 red card for every 25 games he's played for this football club. So every 25th game he gets sent off.
There was a stat, right, that said that by the time that his 4-match ban will have finished, he will have missed 7 games out of 28, which is 25% of all the games, and he will get another ban on top of that. So he's going to end up missing like a quarter of the games just because of this, essentially disciplinary reasons, right? And
most of the yellow cards are him commenting or speaking to the referee, isn't it? You're going in at the referee, talking, getting himself like petulant little yellow cards for chat.
It was the game where he got the second yellow, wasn't it? Where he was chatting to the ref when Liverpool possibly could have got a red card as well, right? And he just can't stop it. And look, I mean, there's big question marks about Romero anyway. And if I'm being honest, I'm obviously a bit emotional after the game now, but I'm just done with him. I said like months 100%. Ago, I said months ago that I also questioned him as captain. I wasn't sure that he was the best captain for us. I know there's not that many clear-cut choices in the squad. We're probably also got a short list of maybe 2 or 3 other players that would, genuinely be able to be a captain, I think. But I questioned it. I questioned his disciplinary approach. I questioned his emotional state, essentially, because he just loses it too often in moments. He's hot-headed. People will say he's one of the best, centre-backs skill-wise in the world, also at distribution, everything else. Okay, that might be the case. But from a disciplinary, from an emotional regulation, whatever else, he's not good. He's not good enough. And, he's been wanting to go to Spain for the last couple of years. I know he signed a new contract last summer. I'm just done with him. He's supposed to be our captain, man. And he's supposed to be like trying to bring the rest of the players in the squad together. And, what's the word? Like be in the trenches together, right? In these situations. He's let everyone down. He's let Thomas Frank down, by the way. I feel really sorry for Thomas Frank today, actually, as well, because I thought he set up the team all right. And we are the bare bones, squad wise, player wise, and he's absolutely.
I think. But if you look at that in terms of squad wise, defensively last season, obviously there was so much cries about Ange Postecoglou and dealing with the injury crisis defensively, but we could score goals. You look at what we've got at the moment, and Doggy gone off injured again. It's another injury for him. Romero suspended again. Porro injured. Spence injured. Danzo out for an undisclosed amount of time. By all accounts, that could be several months. Ben Davis out for the season. That on top of attacking injuries just, is killing us. And yes, I do in a way feel sorry for Thomas Frank. Again, he was meant to have come in to be this all-saving manager that was meant to change the culture, change things from what we had under Ange that apparently wasn't acceptable. I just can't see him changing anything. And at the moment, for me, while he is a nice guy, he'd done some good things with Brentford, and someone mentioned in the comments as well, Brentford aren't missing him, which I think is a valid point. This just isn't working for Thomas Frank. He's just not the right man for Tottenham, in my opinion. And trying to keep playing through this is not fair on him or the fan base, and some of the players as well. And yes, before anyone jumps on me, Enoch are at fault. The Lewis family are also at fault. But we're very much in a relegation fight at the moment. And we need to start kind of admitting that. But Joseph, just coming to you, we'll go back to the start of the game. I'm just going to put the lineups on the screen. This is both teams. This is post-game lineups. So this does have ratings on the screen. So this will give you the full ratings of each individual player. Again, we went with it says on there 5-3-2-1. I would have said it was, 4-3-2-1. I'm not too sure that's how it really started, in my opinion. I felt it was more of a 3-4-2-1 with Odegaard sort of more as on the right hand side. But Joseph, when you saw the lineup, what was your initial thoughts? Because again, quite obviously lovely to see Mickey van der Ven back.
Yeah, I mean, it was the lineup that I kind of expected. It was probably what I would have picked with the players we had, to be honest, the players available. So I was all for the lineup. It was kind of what I expected. I was unsure if he was going to play Paulinho as a back three or if he was going to move him into midfield. For me, it looked like he played more in a midfield role, and he had Romero and Van der Ven at the back, which was, again, maybe it was tactical to go up against United's kind of similar formation rather than play with three at the back. But then again, the three at the back has kind of been working for Spurs recently, so it was weird to see him change from that. But the lineup itself was fine. But again, it's just once the game gets started, I feel like this kind of happens every time. We always talk about the lineup's okay, it's whatever really, but as soon as the game gets going, it's a mess. And just really, really disappointed. I'd like to say quickly, with the whole Romero thing, I agree with Phil. I'm ready for him to go. He's not this irreplaceable player in our team. He's a good centre back. He's not an unbelievable centre back. He's good at progressing the ball. That's one thing I think he's great at, and he can be all right in the tackle. But he's not this irreplaceable player. And with this kind of attitude he has, which again, for Tottenham fans, you might agree with, but genuinely, if I'm Enoch and I'm Lewis, I'm selling him. Like, I'm sorry, you're causing more issues for the club. There's no need for it for them. Yeah. Like, why do they need to entertain it? They don't. Like, if I'm them, I'm just like, let's get rid of him. Like, we can go get a player who's not going to come out and talk about the club after every single moment. So, and again, he's not this unbelievable world-class player. I think we're kidding ourselves if we truly believe he is. I don't think he gets into most other defenses. Van der Ven might. I don't think Romero does. I don't think any other Premier League teams are going to look at Romero if he becomes available. He'll go abroad because Man City won't want him. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, none of those teams are going to want Romero.
Well, it's kind of telling that it is Atletico Madrid being the main ones that are interested in him, isn't it?
Good reason he can go there.
When you think of Mickey van der Ven, it's always, the Liverpool or the Barcelona or the Real Madrid, isn't it? So I kind of get your point there. I'm in two minds because I felt like it felt a bit like a signing at the beginning of the season where he signed a new deal. I thought, wow, this is a great intent. Maybe the injury crisis and him not being with Mickey really hindered us last season. But he's just not really done. Well, I mean, he scored some very important goals this season. He's obviously set up a number of goals, but this disciplinary record is such a concern to me. Phil, just coming to you on the initial lineups. Initial thoughts on that? Again, I don't think that's the formation that we really set out to play in a 4-3-2-1. But at this time, it's kind of irrelevant. Injuries are killing us, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But like the way that we set up, like the starting lineup, and even the way we played, I think at the beginning of the game with the formation was, to be honest, exactly what I wanted and predicted. I know we're limited. Trank's limited by what he can put out, but the fact that Udogie and Van der Ven were obviously fit and able to come back in, Gray was always going to be the right-sided player. Gallagher and Palina were going to play in there as well. Sarr as well. I didn't expect Bissouma to start. And Odegaard and Xavi Simons. I've seen a lot of fans as well, like complaining about the decision not to play Tell to get like game minutes and stuff. But you know what? Like the fact is, at the moment, if you look at how we play, Odegaard and Simons are ahead of him, right? And that's deservedly so based on their actual performances, right? Odegaard's been getting better game by game, and obviously Xavi has as well. I mean, Xavi was probably our best player again today, I'd say, just from a pure control and kind of influencing perspective. He's growing into that into the Premier League and into that role again. So where's Tell gonna play? So look. Solanke obviously starting again, absolutely fine. So from a lineup perspective, absolutely fine, like all good, And as I said, I thought it was the way to go, and we started the game, a bit slow compared to United. They started it with pace and power, but we grew into it, And before the red card, I was like, well, we're well in this game, Like all we need is create a couple of chances, and hopefully we can nick something, But that was all ruined unfortunately by Captain Unfantastic.
Well, quite early on in the game,
sorry, can I just say
Sure.
one other thing to Romero as well, just quickly, just so I can get it out of my system.
I'm sure he is watching. I'm sure he's watching, Phil.
Yeah,
he is
listen.
a regular follower of Project Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. I can't really. My Spanish isn't good, so I can't call out to him. But I agree, by the way, wholeheartedly with Joseph's point.
Punta
as well.
is punta.
Punta. Punta Christian.
I believe that means bastard in Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, I do know some other swear words, to be fair. I agree wholeheartedly with Joseph's point though, as well, though, about his social media stuff. Like we all agree with what he said, right? We all agree with the point, but you can't keep going out on social media and posting stuff like that. It was the same thing as like it's a disciplinary issue, and it's also like a lack of respect, to the powers that be, to his boss and to other players as well. It was the same as when Mickey and Spence, walked past Thomas Frank, acknowledging him, right? You don't do that in the world of business. You don't do it in football. So we can't have someone like that doing that every week, and the club need to act on it. And yeah, I hope we sell him in the summer.
Cal, welcome. I know you've feel disheartened like we do. We've really just covered Christian Romero as I think that's probably the main talking point of the game. We'll get into a couple of other sort of notes that I've got, but there is just under 400 of you watching at the moment. Still appreciate you joining us on Project Spurs. Feel free to get involved in the comments. Just head over to YouTube. You can find us on there. If you drop us a little comment on there, I'll put it up on screen for the lads. It's at Project Spurs, spelt with how it is in the top right-hand corner, I guess, as you're looking at it on screen, or left. It might be either left or right. It's going to be one of them. It's going to be left or right corner. It'll be either. But Cal, talk to me as we welcome Cyan. Hopefully he doesn't cut out for the 917th time in his last 4 appearances with Project Spurs. But Cal, Christian Romero thoughts for me.
It genuinely, I mean, we expect this guy to have a level of authority and leadership, and to be honest, he called out the club this week, which we all felt was potentially warranted, but realistically now we see it was all smoke and mirrors and talking out of his arse, because if he wants the club to do something, he needs to prove it on the pitch, and today he proved that he's just a liability realistically, and this is his 2nd red card of the season. He's had 6 or 7 red cards since he came in 2021 or 2022 season. It's a joke, and we all say that we may be targeted by referees. Well, don't give them that opportunity to target you realistically, because now it is what should have been a 3-game ban. It's a 4-game ban because it's his 2nd card. If he comes back again and gets sent off another game, it's a 5-game ban. He could play 2 games before the end of the season, apart from Champions League stuff. So realistically,
if you look at it as well, Cal, he's one yellow card away from another ban for yellow cards.
And I think that's got an extension period as well on it, because we're past match week 19 or 20 now as well, so that could come with a 2-game ban. So it's really, really disappointing for that. And to be honest, up to that point, we kind of had a bit of momentum. We wasn't great, but we had something, and it's just a silly thing. I've seen all the comments of Spurs fans going, oh, well, he tried to pull his challenge and everything like that. No matter what he was doing there, if you go studs down on someone in that capacity, 9 times out of 10, you are getting a red card. Everyone's gone, oh, well, Dallo didn't get it for Ondoku. We're not talking about other challenges. We're talking about the one that we've seen today. And realistically,
you can only judge on what you see in front of you. There's no point us sitting talking about something that happened in another game by another referee, by 2 different people. You can only judge what you see in front of you. In front of us, he's gone in on a tackle that essentially is a block tackle because he's lost the ball. He's in possession of that ball. He's lost it for his inability. This is obviously quite a poor photo that I've been able to find. he's gone in and followed straight through where he's not needed to. He doesn't need to go in with his studs like this. He just needs to block the ball. That's it. He doesn't even need to follow through in any sense of the imagination. He does it too often. At one point in I think it's about 10, 15 minutes in, he flew into, and I think it was Bruno Fernandes in about 10 minutes in. He flew into him, and I thought,
up in the air.
I thought he's going to get himself sent off again. You could just see it in him. It's the ill discipline. But for those, there's just over 400 of you joining us. If you weren't aware, Christian Romero was obviously sent off. This is now 1 red card for every 25 games he has played for the football club. It's his 2nd red card of the season, means now he misses 4 games after already missing 3 against the Liverpool red card, which was only 8 games ago. It's going from bad to worse defensively, as I mentioned a moment ago, or without a lot of players. So I just come into you. Initial reactions to the first half was for me, the Romero red card just completely changed the game.
Yeah, guys, I totally agree with you there. I mean, up until the red card, I think directly before the red card, we went 10 minutes where we had a lot of possession. We were pressing. We were creating half chances against Man United. I think, we looked good. I was quite confident, but, this loss is on Romero. It's not on Thomas Frank at the end of the day. I tweeted out before the game, I think, that will Romero start after his latest outburst against the club? I wish he hadn't, to be honest, because, as I said, I think the loss is on him. Definite red card. I heard Phil, as I was travelling home, talking about it and saying it, irrespective of other challenges, etc., it's on it. And it was, I mean, there was no need to follow through. I just think you could tell with the way Romero is, he was either going to have a man of the match performance or he was going to get sent off with what's gone on. And I mean, how many more chances are we going to give him in the end? And, I mean, the first goal we conceded, that was in the first half. I mean, losing Romero, if Romero had been there, we might have had a man on the edge of the box because Mbuemo had so much space, it was unbelievable. So yeah, my fingers are directly pointed at Romero for this defeat.
Yeah, I agree. I think it did change it. To be fair, Man United probably were in control really before that, but it's 2 Premier League wins now since late October. We're now 1 week into February, so it's slightly concerning. Joseph, just coming to you, there was a lot of chants, cheering, cries, whatever you want to say, or however you want to describe it, for this man from the large majority of the away fans. And I say that because I said all of the away fans previously, and an away fan had a go at me and said, I'm speaking on behalf of them. So I did promise I would say majority, because it was very loud in the first half and got even louder as the game went on. Mauricio Pochettino, again online yesterday, being pictured with Ozzy Ardiles. He then retweeted or reposted, whatever it is, on Instagram, and added himself, "Come on, you Spurs," to the bottom of it, because if you go on the original picture, it's not on there. And on Monday, there is a high performance podcast interview going out with him, and he is talking again about Tottenham. So Maurizio is speaking about Spurs. The Spurs fans are calling for him. Most fans are unhappy with Thomas Frank. What's your feeling, or was you surprised by how loud those chants were? Because I thought they were really loud in that second half.
I'm not against it at all. Again, obviously, I think this is just an ongoing feeling for the fans. I don't think this was from necessarily this game. I think it's just in general. Obviously, we've been very disappointed with Frank since he's come in. The football hasn't been good enough. I mean, for me, I'm all for Pochettino coming in after the World Cup. But to be honest, right now, I'm not thinking about it, because I'm genuinely concerned about where Tottenham are right now. That's what I'm really thinking about. Like, as much as I appreciate, I'm not really an away, going to all these away games, and I appreciate all the Tottenham fans going. They want to make, they want to enjoy themselves, and they were singing about the win in Bilbao and everything like that, and that's great. But so far, Man United have gone one way and Tottenham have gone another, and I'm genuinely concerned about where we're at. I really am. If we lose to Newcastle, I'm really concerned about getting relegated. I genuinely think it's a possibility because we won't get anything against Arsenal. We won't get anything against Arsenal in that game. So we've got Newcastle next, and we need to win. We actually need to win. It's really getting worrying now. It's a real concern that we could end up getting relegated. I know it's 9 points, but West Ham are about to kick off against Burnley, or kicking off against Burnley right now. We can so easily get drawn into that relegation zone. And the fact is, as much as Pochettino coming in will be, maybe could be a good feel factor for the Spurs fans and for the club. The fact is, the rest of the situation is dreadful right now. We've had a January window that was so disappointing, and we can hold off and say, oh, they're going to do stuff in the summer. Well, I'll wait. We'll have to wait and see if they actually do that, because I'm not convinced they will. Who wants to come to Tottenham right now? I don't know. What players are going to be desperate to come? Who wants to go there? No one. The amount of players that have scored against us. I said it when Mbermo scored. Another player who rejected us scored against us. Another player who chose Man United over Tottenham scored against us. That's going to happen.
2 games in a row, right?
Exactly. It's going to happen. It's going to keep on happening. It's going to keep on happening with more players, because who wants to come to Tottenham right now? We're a sinking ship. Enoch and the Lewis family are doing jack shit in terms of trying to get this team out of the situation they're in. Frank has no idea what to do with the players he's got, the injuries we've got. It's an absolute mess. So as much as, I'm hopeful that we just stay in the league, Pochettino comes in and maybe we can reset. But right now, I'm really, really concerned about staying in the league. It's 9 points that can very quickly in an hour and a half become 2 points. Oh, sorry, 6 points. Become 6 points, 2 games. How quickly
Cal, just coming
we
to you.
get dragged into it is worrying.
Cal, are you as concerned as Joseph and I are? Because we spoke this before you all came on, that we are very concerned. As you all know, my family are West Ham fans, so they'll be watching the game, crossed fingers and toes. But they should beat Burnley today. Granted, it is away from home, but they should at least get a point there. And then look at that at the moment. Look at that league where we are getting pulled and sucked into it. We've got another real difficult game midweek.
Yeah, realistically, when you put it into context there, it's getting too tight for my liking. I don't think we're in a relegation battle, but I think that we have to always look over our backs, because what is it usually? 40 points to be safe? Well, realistically, there's 9 points between us and West Ham at the moment, and they could still get a result against Burnley because, well, I mean, I would say everyone could get a result against Burnley. We got one good result and a turgid game of bloody draw with them the other week as well. So realistically, it's too tight for my liking. Palace can jump us tomorrow. Leeds obviously can't, but Forest are too close for my liking as well. And it just compounds the point you made earlier. We've got 2 wins since late October in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean,
back. We beat Palace, didn't we? What was that? Just after Christmas, but back to back wise, it's just concerning. It really is worrying. Phil, just coming to you on this. Obviously, Leeds beat Nottingham Forest yesterday. So Forest's next game, Leeds' next game against a tough one against Chelsea. So likely they might not pick up any points there. However, Forest are playing bottom of the table Wolves, where you think they probably will be able to get one. We've got a really difficult away fixture against Newcastle. And even Brighton are a bit up and down with Palace, who've just spent, 100 million in January. We could really see us down in 16th, 17th in terms of, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday. Phil.
Sorry. Apologies. My internet froze literally when you probably asked me. I heard the question though. it's a disaster. I mean, like, as Cal said, like, I don't think we're going to get relegated. I honestly don't think we're going to get relegated, but we're far too close, you know, to the situation. And at the moment, you know,
Can I ask
West
you, Phil? Sorry for
Ham,
interrupting. Can I ask you what is it that you think is the reason why Tottenham won't get relegated? Is it because the teams below us are worse, or is it because
well,
you think Tottenham are going to get better?
I still think that we're going to get enough points over the rest of the season, like a couple of wins. I think like 9 points or something. And I do think that, you know, West Ham specifically, I'm not convinced that they're gonna, you know, kind of pull that gap up, right? But the one thing I would say is that I think I've changed my opinion slightly since last week on that after today as well, because you know our injuries are just continuing. You know, Dogie now getting injured again. We were hoping he'd stay injury free for a while, you know, but he's going to be missing again, and it looks like a muscle, you know, injury. Sousa looked good, to be fair, when he came on, but look, I mean, he's our only left-sided player at the moment. We don't even have backup for Archie Gray on the right as it stands, you know, which is just ridiculous. Archie Gray was knackered as well, by the way, in the end. You know, he was absolutely shattered.
We've got a game on Tuesday.
You know, we've got a game on Tuesday. We've got the North London derby. Look, we're in a perilous situation, and I've changed my opinion now. I'm worried. I think that we could get sucked into it, and I think we will get sucked into it, because I predict that West Ham are going to win today, and then it's 6 points. And the other teams, Forest and Leeds, look, Leeds, I don't think should be down in the league where they are. I mean, they're generally a team. I know it's all about points and results, but when I watch them play football, they actually play some good stuff, and they've got some nice players there. And I like the manager at Leeds as well. I think that Leeds are going to finish above us in the end of the season. Palace, let's see what happens, but Glasner's still there. You know, he's going to want to go out on a high, and they've made those new transfers. Forest, I think, have got a bit of upside to what they are at the moment. If anything, they can only get better than what they're playing. And then it's basically West Ham, isn't it? Burnley are done and dusted, I think. So I am worried, and I think we are in a relegation battle now. So I've changed my mind on it, Joseph. And the problem is that things keep happening. You know, like today, okay, probably no one expected us to win at United, but I was hopeful we could get a draw. I predicted a draw. Possibly without Romero getting sent off, we may have been able to get a draw. Although United, you know, they look like a better team than us, frankly, at the moment, and they don't have very many injuries either at all. So, you know, we may have lost still, but if we'd got a draw today, it changes. But we kept getting, Frank and us fans and the team, we keep getting dealt different cards. So today it was Romero's red card. That's just like typical Spursy, sod's law. You know, just when you don't need it, right? It just comes. And now Udogie. And those are the weird things that can happen when you suddenly find yourself in a relegation scrap and you start spiraling down, don't you? And then you can't stop it. And it's like, oh, we just need a win. We need a win somewhere. And then the pressure's a lot more, isn't it? But with these injuries, we don't even know when Spencer's coming back. We don't know what's going on.
It was touch and go for today, wasn't it? The injuries are concerning, the mounting up, and the attacking injuries are also there. So just coming to you on this next round of games, I can only suggest or say the only thing there that's in our favour is that goal difference, being that Forest are on -13, Leeds are on -9, and we're slap bang on 0. So we've conceded 35 and scored 35. It's effectively nearly an extra point for us.
Good point.
Yeah. Is that really the only positive that we can take out of the situation we've got at the moment? That it looks like it's 9, but it's quite possibly 10 points.
Yeah, I'd say that goal difference does give us that extra point, because you can't imagine those teams below us massively increasing their goal difference. For me, Wolves and Burnley are guaranteed. You know, no disrespect to them, but they're guaranteed to go down in my eyes. And then there's that one spot. Listening to what Phil was just saying there, Forest, on their day, they can produce something. They've got Sean Dyson in charge. He's used to battling these challenges, bottom of the league, so I'm sure he'll be up for that. But in response to Josie's question to Phil earlier, I just think we will survive. I do think we are in a relegation battle, but for me, Crystal Palace, I just think they've imploded a little bit with all what was going on with their players leaving, Mateta, and then Glasner leaving the end of the season. They've just gone on this terrible run. And I myself, I just think that, you know, with everything that's going on in that team, that, you know, there's not much fight there possibly anymore. I might be proven wrong. But yeah, I do think we'll stay up, but that's not from our positives. It's from the negatives of the other teams, to be honest.
Yeah, Cal, just coming to you, and I'm going to laugh. Imagine 5 years ago, 6 years ago, nearly 7, we're in the Champions League final. Who would have thought 7 years later, nearly, we're talking about being relegated from the Premier League?
Twice almost.
Twice. Back-to-back seasons. Cal, what's going on?
I don't know, because I've just used a really bad word in our private chat, and I'm trying to get into a sort of level mindset where I don't say it live, because it's really, really bad.
It was for anybody wondering, it's the see you next Tuesday word referencing to something that's going on at the club. Cal is effectively as pissed off as we all are. It is before 9, so this is not Channel 4. Please do not swear, and it's not Big Brother. But let's not use the profanity right now.
Okay,
but look, what is going on? Because like Phil says, 2 years in a row now, we're staring at relegation. I'm more concerned about this season than I was last season, because I felt there were 3 really bad teams last year, and I could see, okay, I reckon he's going for this Europa League because we're not going to get relegated. However, there's 1.5 really bad teams, and then there's probably 4 and we're one of them that could get pulled into this. But the question is, 7 years ago, we were in the Champions League final. We were progressing, you know, second in the league, whatever, and we're now talking about relegation.
It's disappointing, because how many times have we done squad rebuild since 2019? It's been a joke. How many times have we not pushed on from when we've got a little bit of momentum? And realistically now, we are being sucked into something twice in a row. Last year, like you said, 3 teams, absolute dross. This year, there's an accumulation of 7 teams that are not up to par with the Premier League. And realistically, we are part of that now. At the start of the season, it was United. United have made their change. They've now clawed themselves out of it. Yeah, Brighton and Bournemouth aren't great at the moment, but they are sort of ahead of the pack. So we are stuck.
West Ham have just scored.
For
shit.
West Ham are 1-0 up. It was guess who it was, if anyone wants to. Somerville, the guy we were linked with and everyone said weren't good enough. So right now, it is 6 points between us and 18th West Ham, and West Ham are now 3 points away from Nottingham Forest. Wow.
I just like I can't. The other thing as well that I find so confusing. Again, I it's annoyed me that Frank keeps on coming out and defending the club in the facts of like, oh, it's not as easy to do deals. You know, the injury situation we're in. Like, let's be honest. Can any of us sit here and expect that Udogie wasn't going to get injured at some point, or that maybe Dragusin might get re-injured, or that Van de Ven could get injured? Like, these are all realistic things that could happen. I know we've been unfortunate, but there's no reason why this can't happen. Just because we've got loads of injuries doesn't mean we can't get some more. But yet the club was so, weren't making any moves in the window. I genuinely cannot believe we didn't sign anybody after Conor Gallagher and Sousa. I cannot believe it. Like, I don't even care who it was, but we needed players. We just needed bodies, maybe on loan, maybe, you know, short term, or maybe just someone for 10, 15 million who can come in and do a job, and you can try and sell them in a year's time, 2 years time. But not signing anyone and leaving us in this position is so worrying. Like, again, it's where probably end up being 6 points. Just I don't see this team turning things around with this, like, in terms of the players that are available, because we're not going to see Kulusevski this season. I don't think we're going to see him at all. He wasn't obviously included in the Champions League squad. There was some rumours that maybe he was kind of getting closer to coming back. I don't think he is at all. Maddison, I maybe will see in the last month, maybe, but I'm sure they'll want to be careful with that. And then these other players, again, we don't know what's going to happen with other players. We don't know what other injuries we might end up picking up. We don't know what's happening with Danzo. There's so many ifs and buts and maybes. And, you know, Johan Langer said in his, which was absolute bollocks as well, that video of him coming out and saying, oh, yeah, you know, it was, I barely listened to it because it was just 8 minutes of him just talking absolute nonsense. But it was just like, you know, he was saying, oh, we're going to have players back from injury. Are we? Yeah. Are you sure we're going to? Because I don't think it's going to get loads better. I don't see it getting better. We've got so many games to play. Udogi's now pulled up with another injury. And let's be honest, it was something it looked like he did on his own. He'll be out for a couple of months now. It just will happen.
And Mickey's only just come back as well, you know, and the continuation of other injuries. Thomas Frank has been speaking to TNT Sports after the game. They said, I think the first 30 minutes were a good away performance at a difficult place against a team with confidence in them and flow. After the red card, I'm very proud of the players, the resilience, staying in the game mentally, still being a threat at times, trying to create something.
Very proud of them.
Yeah. Then, of course, we just made 3 offensive subs and we concede the second. We concede every time we make substitutions against this guy. He needs to start realising that his subs are terrible. And he goes on to say, I think the last 60 to 70 minutes, we were playing against 10 men. Well, we were playing with 10 men, sorry. We put everything into it. Very proud of the fans. You could hear them loud throughout. Yes, they were chanting for Mauricio Pochettino. Because of that was the error that they could explore, could always happen. Of course, you play against 10, against 11. Of course, that was the area that got a little bit exposed. Christian, first and foremost, there is no intention to do the follow through and get a red card. So, as I said at the beginning, it was a follow through. So everybody telling me it wasn't. Even the manager is saying it is. Christian apologised to his teammates in the dressing room, so he should. It is, but it is what it is. So, you know, when a lot of people, you know, when you're like, you've just had enough, you just say, it is what it is. Like, it just is what it is. This is what we're getting from him now.
So we could say to him,
he does finish saying, we need to deal with it. I think we've got a big area that we believe that we've been working hard on, and is resilience. We don't need to work on resilience. We need to work on putting the ball in the net and stop letting it go in our net is what we need to be working on. We didn't get the result out of today, but what they showed out there on the pitch today, the players, was incredible.
He says this after every game.
What the fuck is he seeing that we aren't?
We need to focus on Newcastle on Tuesday night. Just focus on the next game. That is Newcastle on Tuesday night. Just for everybody watching, we are playing Newcastle on Tuesday night, as Thomas Frank said there. Remind me to mute you all next time. I am dyslexic as fuck. And reading is quite difficult without you lot chirping in and shouting stuff as well. I'm only joking. It's fine. But Cal, I'm going to come around to you all just with some initial comments, reactions, I guess, to his comments. Because again, I feel dumb.
What is he seeing that we are not, realistically? Because I don't know it. And I saw a quote from Vicario that the club put out as well. It was his post-match video or some shit like that. And he said, it's small margins. We gave absolutely everything. We need to bring this resilience and effort into Tuesday's game. What did you lot give? Because from when we got Dragusin come on, I didn't see one attack apart from Xavi Simons shooting past the right-hand side of the net. That was all. And Dragusin's a brain dead moron. Thomas Frank was arguing with his own bench and assistant coach today. The injuries are ridiculous. If we lose Solanke and Simmons, I mean, Jesus Christ, we are done. Randall Colomboani is dead weight and just useless. Odebear getting hooked was the strangest thing for me when we could have just dropped Paulinia into centre-back and dropped Gallagher and Sarr into midfield, and then having Simmons and Odebear on the flank with then Solanke up top. At least we had outlets. And instead we bring on Dragusin, who, I'm sorry, but realistically, he was a brain-dead duck here today. And the game was gone by 36 minutes. It was absolutely crap. And they go, oh, it's small margins, this. We lost the game 2-0. They could have had the ball in the net 2 or 3 other times, wasn't it?
Twice for offside.
Twice offside as well. And I mean, I can see my head going red. I've got a vein that's popping out either side of it because I'm purely frustrated now. And I thought I'd get to my 30th birthday. I got to my 29th yesterday. I think I'll have a freaking aneurysm by the end of this season if we keep doing this with Spurs. That's the thing.
Also, what does he watch? But what are the media people watching? Because there's such a blanket kind of put around it. At one point, Darren Fletcher, who's the commentator on TNT Sports, he said, while we were losing 2-0, I've got a lot of sympathy for Thomas Frank. But we seem to have this on any media outlet. If this was Ange Postecoglou, they would have gone for him.
Yeah. Maybe there's some good feeling around Frank because of what he's done at Brentford and how he's so kind to everyone. You know, he's not very bullish, is he? He doesn't come out and say things how it is. He always skirts around it, tries to make everyone feel good. Always talks up our opponent and how great they are. Yeah. Just, he's a bit of a pathetic manager, to be honest. It's boring to see, and it's
he's a fucking yes man, isn't he? Yeah. He's a fucking yes man.
And we've, especially when we had Ange, who genuinely, the one thing I think everyone will say they loved about Ange is how much he backed Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Like in terms of the fan base and how we are going to play this football, we are going to be this team. I don't care about anyone else. This is what we are. But Frank is just, again, he's just so, he wants to be nice to everyone. He's like, oh yeah, you're great. Oh yeah, this team's really good. Oh, I don't fucking care how good the other teams are. I care about our team and how we're going to play football. And the fact is, since he's come in, he's played terrible, boring football. He's stood in front of the ownership and been, kind of their battering ram for a little bit. And this is the other thing, because, I joined this space at half time to hear what people were talking. And people were talking about the manager. And it's like, there is so much more wrong at this club than just Thomas Frank. There is the ownership that's abysmal. This injury record and the injury team, whoever the medical team are, need to be gone, because this is an absolute joke that we're going through now for the second or third year in a row, pretty much now. There is nothing good around this football club. There's so many things wrong, and Thomas Frank's just one part of it. And the problem is, we've been used to Mourinho and Conte and even Ange kind of come out and talk back to some of these accusations, and Frank just kind of sits there and just accepts it. He doesn't even care. I'm so tired of everything around Tottenham right now. I genuinely wish the season was over. I don't want to watch Tottenham play football. Just can't be bothered. Can't be bothered to watch it anymore. It's so boring.
It's very disappointing. So, what's your thoughts on the way that Thomas Frank is? I know he's trying to be positive and but sometimes you just got to say, look, this isn't good enough, and show some fight and backbone, because we just look. For me, I just feel like I'm watching a guy that is just rolling over, waiting for someone to tickle his belly. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be. We're Tottenham. We should be fucking going for things. We should be competing on all fronts. But at the moment, our manager just rolls over, puts his legs in the air, and says, "Scratch me belly."
Guys, I'm fucking sick and tired of
Whoa! Where did this come from?
Excuse after excuse after excuse from the manager for defeat after defeat.
I thought that was just from your kids calling you, mate. live.
They're going to spend money after money, and they haven't even done that. We've got these quality young players coming through. 75% of them never make it. I've just had enough of this football club at the moment. I'm sure I can speak for myself. I know I can speak for myself and the four of you. We hurt inside with the way this is happening, with what is going on with our football club at the moment. We hurt inside, and I can speak for every other Spurs fan, I think. I'm just fed up of everything with this club. We just need a complete clean slate, new manager, new ownership. Everything could be. It's just a joke. To be where we are, I remember the mid-90s, late 90s. We were poor then, but we didn't have any expectation. You look at our club now, we've got one of the best stadiums in the world. We've got every artist from Beyonce to Dizzy Rascal, whatever, coming to our stadium, bringing more revenue in. And what have we got to show for it? Absolutely nothing as a football club. To the owners and everything, this football club is the last thing in their mind. It's all about concerts, everything else. And until that hierarchy goes, until the board changes, nothing is going to change in this football club. I really think it, to be honest.
I'm the same. I lived through the 90s. I thought the 90s were bad, Phil. The 2000s got a little bit better. Whatever these are called, I don't know now. So I've given up trying to work it all out. But as I say that, West Ham have gone 2-0 up away at Bournemouth.
No.
Burnley. They've literally just scored as I'm watching. So things are going from bad to worse. Palace are playing tomorrow that can leapfrog us if they beat Brighton, which is very possible given they've just spent 100 million and they are only 2 points ahead of Crystal Palace, just above us.
Yeah,
so
the other
win
thing
for Palace tomorrow, they go up to where Brighton are in 13th. So this table is very tight.
And I know obviously we've been talking about Spurs mainly. Obviously we're going to. But I'll tell you what, with United, they looked absolutely awful under Amorim. And Carrick has made them play such good football. Like, I'm sorry, the football they were playing, I know some of it was against 10 men, some of it wasn't. The last couple of games, they have been unbelievable. And that's what Michael Carrick's come in and done in 5 games' time. Maybe if Frank was gone and somebody... I'm not saying that would happen for Spurs, but it was something we could have tried. I don't think it's going to happen now. He'll end up in... he'll probably have it until the summer. And I think maybe you could say it's fair enough. But to me, he's gone in the summer either way. I don't see how he keeps his job at all.
A lot of people think he's a caretaker manager already, right? A lot of people are saying he's already a caretaker manager for his own job.
But I don't know why why don't you just, again, we're seeing it with United right now. I'm sorry, the football Manchester United are playing is some of the best in the league right now. Genuinely is. It's entertaining. Yeah. It's very quick and fast flicks. Everything's done very, very well. I mean, Bruno Fernandes was unplayable today. He was unbelievable. And he is pretty much every game. But as well with Mbermo, with Mateus Cunha, with Ahmad, every single one of them, they're just playing really good football all together. And I'm not saying our team's going to be able to do that. But I think if you give them more freedom and if you give them the chance to actually play football, you might see some of it. With Xavi, with Conor Gallagher, with Solanke. Again, we need some of those other players back, like Kudus and stuff like that. But when you have those players and you give them the chance to actually express themselves, they actually play good football, which is what we're seeing with Carrick. It feels like he's just gone to him. Look, enough with this free at the back nonsense. Just go play football. And that's what they're doing. And they've won 4 games out of 4.
They are playing well. They're looking a decent side. Just Phil, coming to you before we end today so we can all go and enjoy something of our afternoon, I guess. Not helping himself with these comments in the press, both pre and post game. There's no real... It does feel like to me, like I said, the illusion to me is he just rolls over, puts his legs in the air and says, scratch my belly.
Yeah, it's really frustrating me as well now, though. And, some of us were kind of more Thomas Rankin, earlier in the season, kind of the whole way through. And it's probably only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where that kind of changed. But thing with Thomas Frank is he's too positive. Like he's too, when he comes out with these kind of, quotes in these interviews and stuff, and it really is the fact that the fans and everyone else is like, you watched a different game to us. And I think sometimes, especially at that level of football in the Premier League, knowing how quickly the press can turn as well, and up until now they are defending him, right?
Yeah,
they're definitely defending him. You can't do that on duration because you just look like a complete idiot, right? That you're literally just trying to sugarcoat everything. And I mean, you don't have to be stupid. You don't have to be like, I don't know, like when you look at how Tottenham are playing football, no one can say that we don't deserve to be where we are in the league at the moment, right? Based on
we absolutely do. Now, someone that was at the game today is a Manchester United fan. He's one of my best friends. Lives just around the corner. He's just texted me and said, "I'll be honest with you, and I'm not winding you up. This is the worst team I've seen at home all season. Red card didn't help, but lack of ideas, boring sideways and backwards instead of playing from the back, only piled on the pressure on the keeper. Was awful on the ball too. Romero shouldn't be anywhere near the team either. He's a liability, makes comments like he does, and then lets everybody down." That's a Manchester United fan that is just summed up in, I probably didn't read it very well, but summed it up in 2 paragraphs of everything that we pretty much say on these podcasts on a weekly basis.
Are you sure you haven't just read it wrong, that he was actually praising Spurs all the way along and all that? Are you sure it's not just Thomas Frank and it's just your reading style that's gone fucking on?
It's definitely not. But like I said, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not winding you up. That is the worst team I've seen at home all season. This is a Man United fan, by the way. Red card didn't help, but lack of ideas, boring, sideways and backwards, and insisted on playing out from the back, only piled the pressure on the team. Keeper is awful with the ball too. Romero shouldn't be anywhere near the team either. He's a liability, makes comments like he does, and then lets everyone down. Goes on to apologise for that. He is watching, so safe journeys back from Manchester.
One thing I've got to say today is I'm a big critic of Vicarios, but I mean, he kept the score down for us today, didn't he, to be fair? Put off some good saves. So I will give credit where credit's due on that, because I am a big critic of his. So.
Still can't catch a ball to save his fucking life.
Exactly.
Though.
Still can't.
Yeah, he can't kick it either.
Can't kick it. Apart from not being able to kick it, catch it, he's not a bad goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's an alright shot. He's an alright shot stopper. He can turn it out for a corner, and we always freaking concede from them because of. Actually, did we cover zonal marking at all? Because this is a major problem for me. Mark the freaking man. Don't mark the zone. And how we left that zone open for Mbermo to shoot from was diabolical.
You say that, Cal. Did you see the chance they had just before the final whistle? The Man U player had he could have had a cup of tea and everything before it even shot. He was just in the middle, no players around him. The marking was shocking. You're exactly right.
But that's the thing. All of us have played at a decent level, or coached like Gary, or worked alongside youth teams as well. And we know to defend. It's the English way of defending is you go man for man. And it's all this European bollocks that has come over here, all this nice tic-tac stuff where you have to mark an area and all that. Just mark your man. If you're zonal marking and you've got a geezer that's 5'5" marking a 6'9" bloke, you're obviously going to lose it. But that's what zonal marking does for you, and it just doesn't work. We keep doing it. It's our own mistakes now, and I'm messed up by it. Sorry.
Carl, but this isn't going to improve with Thomas Frank, though. That's the big issue right now. And again, I changed my mind on it again because last week I was like, well, to be honest with you, let's keep Thomas Frank to the end of the season. Why not, right? Because what's the alternative? We are looking a bit better in games, right? We'll pick up enough points. But to be honest with you, after things like that today, we have to get rid of Thomas Frank. we have to try something now because we're in a relegation battle.
Phil,
He's not the guy to bring us out of the relegation battle as it stands right now. And those things like with that zoning, that zonal marking today, you know, that's just absolutely shocking, not for the first time. And that is down to him and his defensive coaches. Heitinger is in there as well, right? And he's a defensive coach as well. So he must be on board with all of this stuff as well, probably. We need
Phil, he's not going to go after today.
No, he's not going to. Sorry, he's not going to go after today. He's not going to go, and he might not go if we lose to Newcastle, and he might not go the week after. But if
he'll be our manager in the Championship next year. Then he'll have the grace of getting us promoted again.
I genuinely can't see him going at all. I don't think he'll go now.
So that's the biggest problem that we have now. He needs to go. We have no choice. We're in a relegation battle. The only way that we're going to give ourselves some kind of boost, even if it is a new manager boost or bump or whatever it is, by getting someone else in, even if it is just for a couple of months, and then get Botch.
I am just gonna cut you off because Thomas Frank has been speaking to the Tottenham YouTube channel. No, not YouTube channel, Twitter account. I'm going to try and share it with you all.
Is it with Halsey?
Do we really want to hear it, guys?
Oh, Thomas. It was wasn't it? It was difficult.
Well, in typical Tottenham fashion,
tickling his tummy or something.
Yeah, typical Tottenham fashion is currently swirling. So not too sure what's going on with it.
Oh, it is Miles.
We'll give it a little refresh.
Let's be honest, it's just going to be the same regurgitated shit that it always is.
Yeah. What's the saying? Ignore this load of bollocks. Their attack's imminent. Yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked.
Well, for some reason, it's not loading. So
imagine if he did just come out and just say, "Yeah, it was really shit. Romero fucked us up."
In a way.
Well, but then you see this bloody bit below where it says it's Vicario stuff, the small margins and all that. It's all junk. Now that's the thing. I don't know.
So I don't know why, but it is not loading for me. Cal, I don't know if it's loading for you, and you can share it on screen.
Let me see if I can get one up quickly, mate. Bear with me.
Normally, I don't have any problem, but there has been over 10,000 people watch it in like 3 minutes. So, and I mean, there's 600 people watching this, so you can see that things do delay, I guess. But
I think what it really stresses as well is just how important this game is on Tuesday. Like we have to win it. Newcastle are very inconsistent. They can play well in moments, but they're not unbelievable.
They're not great away from home, are they?
No.
So,
we need to win it because the fact is, I don't think we're going to beat Arsenal. I really don't. I don't think there's any chance we've got getting anything in that game. We have to win against Newcastle because after that, it's most likely going to be 3 points. It could end up being less. So it's
the thing is, we said this about Manchester United, and we said this against West Ham, and we said this against Burnley away. These are must wins. We're not picking up points. It's just not good. But yeah, go Cal.
Who wants to hear a load of bollocks?
Thanks for joining us. I mean, it was looking so good for half an hour. We were really competing well, and then it's just all changed.
Yeah,
you cock. You fucking cock.
Against
Miles
United team in flow and playing with confidence. So what I saw. Then of course the red card changed the momentum of the game. Very proud of the players in general, but of course the last 60 plus injury time, they showed so much resilience, stayed in a game. We still have that moment or 2 or 3 or 4 that maybe could have given us the 1-1, and then of course when we then made the 3 offensive subs, they just scored straight after, where we had 15-20 minutes to maybe push even more for the goal. So yeah, proud of the players there, proud of the fans, traveling numbers. We could hear them loud and clear throughout the game, pushing, helping us.
I said to Vic, I mean, the 10 men couldn't have done much more, really, could they?
No, I think they were fighting. They did everything they could to stay there. Also pose a threat when we could going forward. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
What do we know about Destiny?
Not enough. We will assess him tomorrow and then have more news.
And that meant that Sousa came on, and he made quite a bright debut out there, didn't he?
That was a big positive. Very happy that he got on the pitch and it's a big thing to get a debut in a club like Tottenham. But for Sousa coming from Brazil to a big stage like this and then get his debut, that's a big thing.
You're gonna have to patch us up for Tuesday.
Yes, but that's the way it is. But we'll find a solution.
Initial thoughts on that, lads?
No, there's nothing.
Prick.
Just doesn't matter, does it? There's nothing he said there that means anything.
No.
It's just the same stuff every single week. Oh, how's the doggy? Oh, we'll find out in a couple of days. Oh, it was good for Sousa. Yeah, it was. Oh, we've got a big game on Tuesday. Yeah, we do.
What annoys me is, I don't know if anybody else watched it, but I watched the NFL, right? And you go and watch. I watch the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, now you can watch Dallas Cowboys internal stuff. They will shit on the current product, right?
Yeah,
they will be honest. And any other American football team are the same, right? They're honest about what's going on. We've just, again, listened to that same bloke. I don't know what I can't remember his name. He says the same drivel every time.
Yeah.
We could lose 5-0 and it goes, oh, well, Thomas, for 3 minutes, we were the better team.
Do you reckon he sits there in the mirror all week just rehearsing it just for the weekend? Oh, yeah, we had some really good moments. Yeah, we lost 6-0, but yeah, we had some good moments.
Yeah.
It's mouthpiece PR. That's the problem.
I remember he said it after the Wolves game, didn't he? I remember when we played Wolves at home and we drew 2-2 in the last minute. He said, oh, really tough game, Wolves. They're bottom of the league. They've got 2 points all season. How is it a tough game?
And they're currently losing 3-0 at home to Chelsea at this precise
Palmer's
moment.
got a hat-trick.
Who?
Cole Palmer got a hat-trick.
Oh, wow.
And we've been slagging him off this week as well, saying he's wank. And now look at him. He goes and does something nothing that Spurs can do. We haven't beaten Wolves at all this season, have we? I don't think. And yet Cole Palmer does it on his own. You cannot write this shit. It's just happening in front of our eyes with Thomas Frank.
It is. It is a bad situation, but I'm going to let everybody go. There is just under 600 of you. Phil looks like he wants to jump out of the window in Frankfurt. I've never heard Si get so aggressive in my life. I thought Cal was about to burst a blood vessel. Joseph was about to super kick the screen, and God knows what I was about to do. So it's been an interesting hour and 12 minutes. I will be back, and I don't know if any of the lads will be back with me tonight, but they might be. I'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock. We'll be a live exclusive interview with South American football expert Tim Vickery. Tim, obviously hugely popular in publications such as this one, which is World Soccer Magazine. Lots of books, knows his European football, but also South American football. So it'd be really good to talk to him about our new signing, Sousa. Richarlison, and I'm going to ask him the general feelings around what Christian Romero is thought of in South America. Somebody's left a little message there. Relax, guys. Can't keep blaming the managers. We are also blaming the owners. We do that most of the time as well. That is a Crystal Palace fan, though, so that's why he's saying relax. Okay. That would be nice. So, yeah, we are back on with Tim Vickery tonight at 9 o'clock. If any of you lads are coming on, that would be great as well. We can ask him some questions. Join in with a live Q&A. He is a Tottenham Hotspur fan, so we will ask him his current feelings around the club. So to the near 600 of you, Callum, where can we find you across social media, just so everybody is aware if they want to follow you?
Yes, you can find me at Callum Stubbs 97 on X. Obviously, you can find me at Project Spurs as well, and can probably find me at most youth games, to be honest, as well, if you want to come up and have a chat, apart from tomorrow, which I think is at Hotspur Way now, which is quite disappointing unless something gets sorted. Looks like I'm doing fuck all with my Sunday. So, yeah, thanks as always, mate.
Tomorrow's game's been moved to it was at the Lamex and Stephen. It's been moved to the Hotspur Way. 1 o'clock kickoff. Will be on Spurs Play as normal. So if you do want to watch that, the next game at the Lamex, I think it's not until
Friday the 20th, isn't it? Something like
Friday
that.
Friday the 20th. Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, if you want to go to that's on a Friday night, that game, it'll be £7 a ticket. I'll be at the game, as will Cal. But Phil, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on X at Frankfurt Spurs. I don't know if I'm going to be much on social media over the next couple of weeks or months. Hit me up anyways, and I'll join. We can talk about Tottenham, the Bundesliga, whatever. But yeah, look, I'm just thanks for having me on today, and I'm just hoping for some better times. To be honest, end of the season. That's it. Summer.
That's the hope that kills us. Joseph, where can we find yourself?
Yeah, you can find me JosepTHFC on X. Yeah, obviously big Spurs fan, big Juve fan as well, and watch a lot of American sports too. Minnesota sports fan, so kind of suffering in all aspects of sport for me. But yeah, if you want to follow me, please do. I'm going to be appearing on, I think, Spurs Kings TV. I think that's what they're called on Monday, so that will be good. And obviously, yeah, here on Project Spurs all the time. So again, please do follow Project Spurs mainly. You know, it's a project that I think we're all, you know, really focused on, and really glad to see it, you know, doing so well. So yeah, we'll be back. Well, yeah, you said
Absolutely.
9 p.m. tonight, so that will be a really good one.
There is nearly 600 of you at the moment. If you can go over to Project Spurs on YouTube, that would really help us. Tonight we will take live comments for Tim Vickery on there. It's Project Spurs, which you can find the spelling at the top corner of the screen. Si, where can we find you? Because I believe you are now a Twitter premium member, which means you're taking this content creating very seriously.
I am indeed, Gaz. I'm indeed loving it. Loving being on Project Spurs. You four keep me sane with what's going on at our football club, must admit. But yeah, follow me at Bromley Spurs on X. I'm on Spurs Diehards tomorrow night, so I'll be there as well. Also, we have a show maybe in the week. I'll have some final details. I think I've linked up with someone for an evening with Pat Jennings near us, compared by Mickey Hazard. So
nice.
That'll be a good evening in March. So I'll have a few more details and possibly the link to get some tickets for that in midweek. But yeah, loving it, and just everything's great apart from the football team.
That's the worrying thing. Everything in life is going fantastic apart from Tottenham Hotspur. But until next time, which is at 9 o'clock tonight, so I'm going to go and have a few hours rest, and we'll be back on with our exclusive interview with South American football expert and Tottenham fan Tim Vickery. From all of us, again, thanks for watching, and come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.